Yo, what is up gamers? Russ here with another commentary. Today I have for you a Necrotic Wake in which I did very much damage. I've been trying a lot of the different builds. I've literally just been trying everything since the double legendaries came out. Venthyr, Night Fae. The only thing I haven't tried yet is Necrolord, which I will try soon and maybe make a video about that one too. Right now I'm just spamming keys like 20, 21, 22s with all the different types of builds. I'm playing Blade Dance Venthyr, Blade Dance Night Fae, full single target Venthyr, sometimes with Glade Tempest, sometimes with Unbound Chaos. I'm just literally trying every possible talent combination I can, and most things seem to be working, which is really cool. Even in like plus 20 scenarios and things like that, most stuff seems to work, which is awesome. This key in particular, I was playing Draven as my soulbind with Venthyr, with only 2 potency conduits, and the conduits I ran were Growing Inferno and Dancing with Fate. So I was playing First Blood Blade Dance here. So no no Chaos Strike resets and no Venthyr, what's it called, the Sinful Brand cooldown reduction. So I put my talents on screen for you with my Soulbind and my gear. I'm running 4-piece here, so that definitely does help with Venthyr in Mythic Plus for sure. I got my 4-piece, and yeah, it's my item level's okay, but I'm wearing LFR legs, so my gear is kind of like my eye levels drop down a little bit. Running the cache of acquired treasures on this one, so hopefully you'll see me get some nice crits with I-beam and things like that. But I'll take you through the key now. Of course, I will stop and start it, things like that. We had a bit of downtime in this key because I chamois DC'd at one point, and we still 2-chested this, so that was really, really nice. This was my key before I hit my 3k Raider IO, I believe. So yeah, we got the 3k Raider IO already, which is awesome. Puts us somewhere in like top 150 demon hunters in the world, I think, which is awesome. Obviously, I understand not too many people are pushing right now, but it's still something cool. I'm gonna shoot for that top 100 and get a nice little screenshot before everyone else goes for it, you know. But yeah, here's my Raider IO profile on the screen for you real quick. And I don't know, let me know. I've got most of the keys recorded on here, so if there's any particular one you'd like to see, I'm definitely going to get that Plagueful 22 out. If there's any particular one you'd like to see, then I can make it into a commentary. I'm probably just going to release a commentary like every day this week. Yeah, before we start the key, I might as well talk about my Twitch stream and shout myself out. Yeah, feel free to head on over to twitch.tv/JustRuss if you want to hang out at all, ask me any questions, just hang out, make some friends. I got a nice community over there, and we shoot the shit all day long, most days, I guess. So that's awesome if I can see some of you guys over there. If not, then chuck me a suggestion or question or something down in the YouTube comments below. So without further ado, let's jump into the key. Making sure that I pre-meta. That is basically, you can put a turnip punching bag down if you want, and hit that one just so you got some fury. But basically, if you've got fury, you want to I-beam at about 3 seconds and then meta about 1. And you'll just get about 25 seconds of meta for free at the start of the key, so that's great. Just, if you're not doing any invis skips or anything like that, it's just free damage. Sometimes, I'm not sure actually if this is worth, but it might be worth actually just using meta on the pack here to put Sinful Brand on everything before you I-beam as Venthyr. So I'm actually not even 100% sold on the pre-meta. Obviously, you might as well do it, but you might just have to overwrite it with the new meta, because the way I'm seeing meta right now is it's basically an AoE cooldown with Venthyr. You want to... in this key, by the way, I'm running Collective Anguish with obviously Agony Gaze, right? The Unity Legendary. So I'm basically trying to meta and then extend all my Sinful Brands with the I-beam straight afterwards. If possible, I'm putting like 1 Sinful Brand up before I meta and getting 1 extra I-beam, because I might as well take advantage of the extra I-beam and Fell Devastation before I pop the meta and it resets, right? So I'm kind of sold on the fact that I should have probably actually just meted on top of this pack and done more damage. I mean, the damage is not bad without it. I used my trinket and things, but I think I opt to meta this next pack instead and then not have it for the boss. And then meta the pack after the boss. So it's kind of like whether you want your meta for the boss or not. If I wanted on the boss, I should have meted that first pull, regardless of having the pre-meta. And then I would have it for the boss, especially on Tyrannical. Maybe you pull in some trash into the boss with the Goliath, the orbs, Kirin orbs from the Goliath. But yeah, it's really up to you. This was like the first key where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna hold meta on bosses because you have a lot of boss damage anyway, even outside of meta. You can extend your Sinful Brand a pretty decent amount. So getting the AoE Sinful Brand from your meta is actually like really nice. As you can see in this pack that we're doing now, I did like 40k DPS because I meted, and like I still have 20 seconds of meta uptime after we finish. It almost feels with the 4P like meta is too long of a cooldown. Like I don't know, no packs seem to, you know, I do so much damage when I meta and Sinful Brand everything that the pack always dies before meta is over. So like you really, I think playing in a pre-made Venthyr could be really strong if you kind of treat meta the same as you would kind of like a druid, like a balanced druid incarn or something. Back when that was like a really good comp to play, where you just like every 3 minutes you do this like insanely huge pull with a druid incarn. I think you could probably get away with that with meta because you're getting a lot of cooldown reduction from the 4-piece, and then you're also getting a lot of cooldown reduction from so you're having your meta like every 2.5 to 3 minutes with the encrypted affix, which I think is pretty decent, I guess. So if every 2.5 to 3 minutes you could, you know, if you're playing with a pre-made tank, do like a really huge pull and just meta everything, I feel like that would work out really well for DH. And you'll see at the end of this key, I actually finished with something silly like 17k overall, and that was, you know, not even pre-made, not even optimizing my metamorphoses or anything like that. So I think there's a lot of potential there, to be honest, but we just haven't really seen it yet. Quite often I feel like it's hard to put out damage with Venthyr DH, even when we have like, I don't know, it just feels like you're not really doing too much outside. Like if you can't keep your Sinful Brand up, you feel kind of like a disappointment, I guess is the word I would go for. It feels really disappointing, but it's not actually the case. You're actually still doing a lot of damage. Like here I don't even have meta or anything. I'm still doing like 13k boss damage, which is fine, you know, like it's nothing crazy, but it's fine. I didn't use any cooldowns, so now I have it for this next pack, so that's pretty great. Nothing really too special to talk about on the boss, just making sure that because I'm playing without the Venthyr relic, I've actually forgotten the name. I think it's called Singular, I don't know, it's called like SI or something abbreviation. I'll put it up on screen for you now because I can't remember it off the top of my head when I'm recording. Popping my meta now onto this pack, by the way, and you'll just see my damage just do like silly things. Making sure I Glaive Tome is on cooldown, and I am playing Fellblade Demon Blades as well in this key, which it feels really nice to play. You're basically just playing the old build, so playstyle for this kind of build. You're basically just playing like the old build that you played with Burning Wounds, except now you don't have any requirements to like hit different targets or spread your Burning Wound. Previously, if you played last season or played Night Fae Burning Wound at all, with that legendary, you would have to kind of like tab target between nameplates and things, or between the mobs in the pack to proc your Burning Wound on them, and then change target again, and you'd be like slowly but surely spreading around your Burning Wound. And then every time you Immolation Aura, it would just be doing like insane damage. You'd see Immolation Aura like almost undoubtedly top your DPS in every single key. Here, I'm not even playing Burning Wounds, and Immolate, you'll see at the end, I'll show my damage breakdown. Or, I mean, I just showed it there as well. Immolation Aura is still doing loads of damage, and that's without Burning Wounds. So I'm still playing Glaive Tempest. I'm still playing, you know, all the same talents. It feels the same, except I don't have to tab target around, and it means as well, like, you don't have any ramp up, because usually you'd immolation aura as you go into the pack, and then you spread your burning wounds, and then you'd have everything burning wounded up for your second immolation aura. And if it never lived long enough for the immolation aura, you wouldn't be able to really capitalize on the legendary burning wounds on all your targets, right? So here it feels really nice. Feels like you don't really have to ramp up too much. It's fairly front loaded, I guess. Except you don't have Corraine procs anymore for like big crits and stuff like that. But the basic playstyle is that you play it the same in terms of you want to get 2 blade dances or death sweeps into every I-beam demonic window. So your combo will generally look like this, and I'm holding I-beam as well. Like, I'm still not 100% sure if this is the build that's going to be played or anything like that. As I said, I'm kind of just testing things out. Once things get established and there's, you know, like a lot of different builds that people are going to, or like maybe just a few cookie cutter builds that people play, maybe then I'll start making some guide style videos or like Mythic Plus things. Maybe I'll just make a small highlight video on each build that I'm trying, just kind of run through the playstyle. If you guys would be interested in that, then let me know, because I could probably make like a quick 5-minute, maybe even less video for each of these little builds I'm trying out right now, and then you could just give them a go in your keys and see which one you prefer, right? Maybe I'll call them like build spotlight or something, you know, just completely choosing random talents and legendary combinations. Like, I even played a TOP key with Burning the Wounds legendary on because I forgot to change it, and I still did 14k overall in the TOP as Venthyr with Burning Wounds. So I don't know, like I feel like almost anything works right now, which is really great because it means that basically you can just get away playing whichever feels best to you. But I'm sure as time goes on and people get more used to this season and these builds and Venthyr being a thing, some people really don't like Venthyr DH, which is fine. I find it quite fun, especially when you can play it basically similar to Night Fae, right? I tried the full single target build in raid the other day. It felt weird. It felt like stuff was falling off all the time. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I really liked it on single target. I did not like it on like cleave or anything. So I'm thinking if you can get away playing First Blood with Venthyr in raid with any cleave or anything, maybe that could be like a good middle ground, I think, for, you know, play maybe like Theater or Draven with cleave, and then play Nadia for full single target with Cycle of Hatred. I think maybe that's going to be what I'm going to try out next set of raids I do. But yeah, we'll see. I've got some more testing to do, normal, heroic, and stuff like that before I do that. So onto the playstyle. By the way, just playing in the background is the key. I'm going to talk about things I think are noteworthy. Right here, our Shami was DC'd. So we were just waiting for him. So we actually waited for this dude for like 2 minutes anyway, and we still had like 8 minutes left in this key. That's how much we completely smashed it. I think our DPS was insane. As you can see, the Warlock and the Arcane Mage are giving me a run for my money right now. So that's really awesome as well, because I don't think either of those are like particularly meta picks. If you'd think of, oh, what's my ideal Mythic Plus group comp right now? I don't think it would be like DH, Arcane Mage, and Demonology Warlock. So it's really awesome to see that, you know, you can kind of make stuff work. I always try to give people, this is not my key, but I try to always, you know, just make groups that I think would work as long as they fit the requirements. Like, we got a combat res, you know, we got our DPS combo works okay together because I'm giving them the magic damage buff, and then they've got the arcane intellect from the mage and things like that. So I think it works out fine with having the warlock and the mage there. But yeah, the general playstyle is I'm holding my I-beam, which feels really shit, to be honest. This is why having triple potency conduit and using growing inferno with dancing with fate and then taking the sinful brand cooldown reduction one is about like 10 seconds ish, I think, at 265. So that one feels not too bad because it puts sinful brand down to a 35-second cooldown and I-beam down to a, obviously, is a 30-second cooldown without Cycle of Hatred, which are not running in this build. So basically, you just make the combo. You hold I-beam until Sinful Brand is ready, and then you're holding Blade Dance until I-beam is ready. So you're basically getting both I-beam and Blade Dance ready all at the same time that Sinful Brand comes off cooldown. Then you'd Sinful Brand your target, I-beam it, so it extends the duration with Chaotic Anguish, the legendary, and obviously the I-beam itself, giving it about a 19 to 20 second Sinful Brand uptime. And then straight after the end of the I-beam, you Blade Dance, and then you can do like 1 or 2 fillers like you used to do, and then you Blade Dance again. Very, very important that you get 2 Blade Dances into your I-beam window, and then you're having like a 20-second Sinful Brand. Then you have about 15 seconds downtime on Sinful Brand, and then you just do the combo again, and you keep doing that. It's really good boss damage. Usually in keys it's hitting me like 12 to 13k damage on bosses, sustained, and then I think here we went for an invis skip, so we had to wait for potions. I think we summoned the chamois as well afterwards. So, but yeah, we had a lot of downtime where we were just standing around in this key. But yeah, basically that's your little combo, and you just keep doing that. And outside of your combo, you're just Blade Dancing on cooldown, Fell Blading when you can, and keeping up Immolation Aura when you can on cooldown, and then just filling with Chaos Strike with Blade Dance on cooldown to just do some cleave, right? So, and then obviously Glaive Tempest whenever it's up. So really simple playstyle, this one. I'd say my only concern with it, because I'm running Draven here and 2 conduits. The reason I'm running Draven is I'm testing it, but he has this 5% agility buff whenever you're above 80% HP. As you can see it up on my buff bar, that kind of like hulking titan looking thing with a 5-stack. It's basically a 5% agility uptime, and then also you get % damage increase flat for every enemy that's close to you. You are capping at 3, so it's basically like 5% agility at all times and 3% damage at all times, which is just like a lot of static damage, which is really, really nice. And it's obviously on all of your, or most of your abilities. You know, the agility will hit most of your abilities, the flat damage will affect even your trinkets and everything like that, and soulbinds and stuff. So the soulbind itself is giving you quite a lot of passive damage. Yeah, it's just nice. The only feels bad part about this build is the fact that I'm holding I-beam for like 15 seconds. And while I'm using Chaotic Anguish, that doesn't feel too great, because, you know, every time I do that twice, I'm missing out on potentially an entire I-beam. Because, you know, 15 is half of 30. So I'm potentially losing out on a third of overall like I-beam plus Fell Devastation damage that I could have at the end of the key. Whether or not maybe it's better to just I-beam on cooldown and line up every other Sinful Brand with an I-beam might be the better way. So, you know, holding Sinful Brand for 15 seconds may be better than holding I-beam for 15 seconds, because it's just like a lesser percentage. Because the Chaotic Anguish is still doing, like, it's doing nice AoE and everything like that. It might just be kind of like you decide on the spot, like, do I want AoE damage here? Maybe on a certain amount of targets it's worth just throwing the I-beam. On one target maybe it's worth waiting. I don't know. It's like, again, it's stuff that just needs to be worked out over time. But it's really cool, honestly, to me at least, theory crafting all of this in my head, right? Like, as I'm going through these keys, every single key I'm changing something, and I'm like, I wonder if this could work. Or even if it's like I'm changing a talent, like even one talent or one soulbind or one conduit, and I'm just iterating all the time and seeing how it works. Obviously, I'm not just running the best results. I would just run, I don't know, Necrotic Wake 20 times and change something every single time with the same group, with the same pulls or something, right? Like, that would be the best scientific way to test it, but can't really do that. So I'm just kind of like doing what feels right, seeing how I do, like, taking different classes into every key, seeing how you know, how I keep up, or if I fall behind or anything like that. Just changing a lot of stuff. It's a really fun way, at least to me, to kind of just like work out while nothing's established and everything is fresh. It's like a nice fresh eyes look on the game, right? Which feels really good. So I'm really enjoying doing that. I think maybe, as I just said, you know, I've literally just thought about that now while recording this video. I didn't even think about, oh, do I, you know, like as I was playing this key, oh, do I hold I-beam here and then like use it on AoE and then like save my sinful brand or anything like that. I was literally just going, okay, this key, I'm going to hold every I-beam until Sinful Brand's ready. So I just Sinful Brand, I-beam, Death Sweep, Annihilation, Fellblade, Annihilation, Death Sweep. That's like my usual combo if I could do that, with a Glaive Tempest in here now and then if it's off cooldown or something like that. So yeah, it's pretty open, honestly. Like, as I keep saying, it feels like almost anything works right now. So my advice is just go test out and see what you like the feel of, you know, like let me know your results too. Let me know, you know, if you did an insane key where you did like 20k overall in a trash heavy dungeon with like, I don't know, like that would be incredible. So I'm going for that 20k myself. I'm kind of looking for that one build that gets me to hit the 20k. I've just realized as well on the footage in the background, I've actually been sitting on this meta for like 5 minutes. I held it on the boss because I thought as soon as we finished the boss we were gonna go for like the double pull with the patrol and the orb into the corner, like the left hand corner up here. So I was holding meta because that's like almost always the pull that the tank goes for in Necrotic Wake in my experience. So I was like, okay, for sure this tank, he's going with pretty hand with pulls, he's gonna go for the double pull with the patrol, right? And then he didn't. He went like left and then right, and it just felt really, really slow. And I'm just sat here like, doesn't feel like worthwhile using meta on any of these things. He pulled the patrol separately. We had an orb, like, I don't know, maybe because it's fortified and he was a bit scared. I'm not really sure, but I feel like he could have just run in with the patrol and I could have meted everything and done like 70k damage or DPS. It would have been amazing. It would have felt incredible. But yeah, it is what it is. So here is one of those cases where I believe I've just seen it back now. I've actually got Sinful Brand off cooldown and I-beam on cooldown. So it seems like here I did just decide, you know what, I'm just gonna, like, there's nothing really worth Sinful Branding here. It does a lot of damage, but it's like, it's just one target at the end of the day, right? So if it's an AoE pack and you don't really need like priority damage or anything, maybe you can just hold Sinful Brand and just do the I-beam and then kind of like put up the Sinful Brand in the next pack or on the next I-beam or something. So I feel like maybe going forward, that's what I'm going to try doing. I've got, as I said, I've got loads of keys like written down on my little whiteboard right now. I literally have Necrotic Wake, DOS 20, Hulls 20, TOP 20, and Playful 22, and all of them are using a different build. So I don't know if you guys want to see any of those and we talk about them, talk about the different builds. I realized in this dungeon I haven't really talked about pack by pack what I'm doing. I've more just been talking about Venthyr DH as a whole. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think here. Yeah, like I could break it down pack by pack. A lot of people know Necrotic Wake. I'll probably just bring out another Necrotic Wake key where I talk through like every single pack by pack you know, instance of what I'm thinking and doing every single time. The gist of it is I'm really just kind of speaking out or thinking out loud right now in terms of like Venthyr builds. So hopefully it's at least a decent listen. I don't know, if you hated it, let me know so I know not to just ramble and think about stuff in future. But hopefully it's keeping a couple of you guys' attention, and maybe you're just like theory crafting along with me, and it's more like a open little atmosphere that we're going for here. So running into the double assistant pack right now, you want to make sure at the start of these dudes, you're always close by. They're going to choose 2 people to throw the axes, and you're going to most likely, well, if you get one on you, you need to run to the opposite direction, right? One of these guys can be interrupted and one cannot. And the thing you really need to watch out for here is the fixate. If you see here, I kind of like kited him around and then ran back around and fellbladed that dude. Then he put the cleaver on me so I could get into position for throwing the cleaver. And you basically want to make them throw the cleaver at each other, yeah, if that makes sense. Other than that, pretty simple. One's interruptible, one is not, one is movable, one is not. Just watch out for the fixate, because if that guy gets close to you, and he does have a absolutely huge range, he will like one-shot you, especially on Fortified, but even on Tyrannical, this guy will like straight up one-shot you. You need to cut that fixate. All you need to watch out for really on the gold grind pack is The bits ads don't really do too much. If you want to help out your tank with stuns, AoE stuns, or anything like that, then feel free to. If there's something that you're going to prioritize, so this will be like a perfect moment to choose what to sinful brand here. You want to sinful brand the actual gore grind mob itself, and then just cleave everything else down. I actually delayed. I probably should have waited with an I-beam and extended it on the gore grind dude. But I think just in general, what you want to be running with this build is, I think because you don't have the cooldown reduction on the sinful brand, you're basically just making this judgment call every single time that you choose to I-beam. Like, do I wait with my I-beam for sinful brand, or does it not really matter if I get like an 8-second sinful brand versus a 18-second sinful brand with the extension? Because Fell Devastation and I-beam are both extending it. That's why you can, in theory, you know, with the Cycle of Hatred build, you can keep up you should be able to keep up sinful brand 100% of the time, on like a single target if you don't have to move away. So that's kind of like a cool way to think about it. But the more that, like, the further that we go into the key, the more I feel like I'm desyncing them, and I feel like the damage was quite consistent. So I'm gonna try this build again tomorrow in a couple keys and see how I do. I might try and get like another 22 or 21 done recorded with this build, but kind of now that I've iterated on it a little bit and maybe, I don't know, you could say perfected it maybe, but yeah, like give it another go in a different key, in a different dungeon, and see how it feels when I'm making that judgment call, like AoE or single target, you know? AoE, pop I-beam on cooldown, single target, maybe hold for sinful brand to extend it if I need priority damage or something like that. But I honestly don't even think you could go wrong just playing the build, like use everything on cooldown. I think it would probably work, to be honest. I think you could probably get away with just like throw sinful brand out on something on cooldown and not even use not even really extend it with I-beam, only if it kind of lines up. I feel like it would almost work, but you might as well do like every other sinful brand, because when you think about it, it's a 45-second cooldown. If you save it for an I-beam, you're getting basically double the damage out of each sinful brand. So maybe just having that 15 seconds of holding each sinful brand is probably worth it. That's, I think, what I'm going to try next time I do a key. So I-beam on cooldown and then just sinful brand before every second I-beam, basically. I feel like that's a decent play to go with. So on this boss as well, playing in the background, of course, I speared the boss. I speared the boss on the first one. I'm not sure if I actually hit the creation or not, but this was not tyrannical, so this boss is much less scary. This guy is crazy hard on tyrannical, in my opinion. You really need to, like, it feels like Necrotic Wake is laid out that the whole dungeon basically leads up to that boss, and if you have the right weapons, and if you use the weapons properly, and if you get the hooks correct, and then if the boss doesn't bug out, like I've had it so many times where the boss bugs out in different ways, that either he spawns like two creation as at one time, in which case it's pretty much unhealable and the tank's gonna die, especially if that happens on tyrannical. I don't know, it's really weird, but just feels like a really inconsistent boss, and that's probably going to be your white point. And then you want to save your hammers for this Rhinebinder guy at the end, this Nalthor guy. So all you really need to do on this boss is watch out for the Comet Storm. Hopefully you guys, if you're watching this key and thinking about doing +20s yourself, you hopefully understand the you know, how most people handle the Comet Storm. A lot of people I even see still in kind of like highish keys is they will still like move away from the boss entirely. There's a really nice hack that you could, if you're playing in a pre-made or something, you can establish beforehand, but in a pug it's a little bit more like open to just seeing what happens. And you'll see on this boss, by the way, I'm actually not using my sinful brand on cooldown here because it's already up on the boss, so I'm literally just saving it and extending it through I-beam because we had the buff, right? On the as well, just one thing to note, you probably just want to blade dance, do some other global, blade dance, do some other global, blade dance, do some other global. If you're inside of meta, you'll be able to use a death sweep, every single other globals. So you'll just alternate death sweep, another ability, death sweep, another ability, death sweep, another ability. That's kind of your rotation during demonic or metamorphosis while there's an buff up. So yeah, as soon as my Sinful Brand dropped off, which I was extending with I-beams because I had it up quite often because I applied it, then I meted, and then it came back up. I got like 2 I-beam extensions on it. Is as soon as it dropped off, I just put it back up, and you'll see here like 13k boss damage. Very, very nice. That guy absolutely melted. Fortunately, I didn't have to go downstairs, so that was nice, but we actually missed out some trash here. But yeah, like 16.9k overall, or 16.8 I believe after this trash pack. I'd say it's pretty respectable for trying out a new build. Probably not even playing it optimally, because as I said, like I was just changing it pack by pack depending on how I was feeling. Yeah, just trying a new soulbind, trying you know, just the actual physical button presses in different orders as I went through the dungeon. Yeah, it's fun to me to try all this kind of stuff out, which I think is it's a really cool, you know, way of playing the game. Not just like, oh, I'll just do what that top guy's doing. I don't think many people have a good grasp on which build is good right now and which build is not, and everyone's just trying everything and kind of being like, yo, I did this much damage in this dungeon, is it good? I played this build, this conduit, this soulbind. As I said, theater seems to be a pretty popular one right now, so I'm trying like Draven, theater, and Nadia. Like I've tried all 3 in different keys, and yeah, all 3 seem to work fine. So honestly, as I keep saying, the common theme is it seems like you can pretty much just play whatever you want, whichever legendary you want, whichever soulbind you want with Venthyr seems to be a safe bet. I'm struggling to do a lot of damage with Night Fae. I think it's just like Unity doesn't feel that strong for Night Fae, because you're running Growing Inferno as your main conduit, and that's doing tons and tons of damage, right? But your Immolation Aura is like refreshing, you know, like your Immolation Aura is getting refreshed if you use the hunt, and then it can kind of like overwrite your previous Immolation Aura. If you want to like fit double Unbound Chaos inside of Karain, you have to munch your first Immolation Aura. But then if you want to maximize Burning Wound, Immolation Aura uptime, then you have to delay the hunt, and it feels bad delaying the hunt, and then you don't get your hunt inside of the Karain window. It just feels like there's so many problems, and the odds I feel like the odds are stacked against me, and I honestly feel kind of useless as Night Fae now. And it's really annoying because I really enjoyed Night Fae. I really like the First Strike playstyle behind Karain. You know, the fact that you can kind of clip abilities in, and you can throw your glaive at mobs coming in so that you can activate the crit buff and keep that going at like high uptime. I think that's a really cool mechanic. Sad to see it not go, but it just feels subpar compared to like any Venthyr build I play right now. And then, as I said, there's a lot of people who dislike Venthyr right now, so I'm not really sure on the correct thing. Things will become clear over time. But yeah, I guess it's just been a huge fucking rant video. I don't know how much of it I'm going to cut out or keep, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Whether you enjoyed the key, apologies I didn't really talk about pack by pack by pack what we're doing, but I will bring out a Necrotic Wake in the near future at like something, I don't know, I'll probably hit like 23 or 24. I want to start doing 23 24s this season and stuff, so I'll try and hit like a higher Necrotic Wake, and then I'll talk through like the play by play. This was maybe just because it was like the first Demon Hunter video I've made since Double Legendary coming out. I had a lot to say about all the different stuff. So as you can see, my damage breakdown at the end of the key is quite interesting. Sinful Brand topping about half as much as if I were to play the Cycle of Hatred build, but still a lot of damage. Death Sweep doing work, Glaive Tempest doing work still, even without Karain or anything like that. So Glaive Tempest still really, really solid for the amount of fury that you spend on it. It feels like a very good button to press, you know. You're still getting a lot of death sweeps. Chaos Strike and Annihilation doesn't hit that hard in this build, so there's no reason really not to play Glaive Tempest. I much prefer it to Unbound Chaos. I really dislike having to full rush for damage. That's just something personal with me. My Vicious Wounds Trinket not doing too much in this key. Probably played it poorly. Sometimes you can get loads and loads and loads of damage off that trinket. But it's still doing, you know, the average amount. Like, it's, as long as it's doing similar or more than my Plagueful Ooze Trinket, then I'm kind of okay with that, because I feel like that's a good barrier, a good bar to go by. Fell Devastation, I-Beam doing like decent amount of damage. Immolation Aura is still doing tons of damage, even though I'm not playing Burning Wound. So that's just the Growing Inferno Conduit doing loads of work there and using Immolation Aura and cooldown. So I honestly think this build is pretty solid. But I think there's like a little bit of min-maxing I could do around it, and then I can make like a proper video about it, you know what I mean? So I'd just like to thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see the spotlight videos where I talk about different builds I'm playing, put that down in the comments below. If you want to see the I don't know, pick the next key. I have like a rough timeline in my head of which key is coming out next. Probably just going to put one out every day this week, so loads of content to come. So if you like it, feel free to like the video and subscribe and all that. Come check out the Twitch stream at twitch.tv/JustRuss. Shout out to the Patreons who support the channel financially and help me keep doing what I'm doing. Shout out also to my Twitch subs who do the same. Feel free to, I don't know, go check those out. I'll put the Patreon link and Twitch link and everything like that down in the description, along with my other social medias and Discord. Feel free to check any of those out. Thank you to the Patreons who support the channel. Their names will be on screen now. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you very, very much for watching. As always, have a great day. And yeah, peace.